Hey, dork. Are you bringing your dolls to school?
It's the 90s. Times are changing. I'm gonna get expelled.
For what?
I'll come up with something. I'm the king of the wieners!
I haven't had a girlfriend.
We've been best friends our whole lives. Your teddy bear's got you covered. Let's go talk to her.
That is a look at the Ted prequel, a series based on the Ted films that's centered on a man and his teddy bear who comes to life as the result of a wish. The new series takes you on a comedic ride of high schooler John and his best friend Ted, who both take on the highs and lows of high school and the universal coming of age first. Seth MacFarlane, who plays Ted, joins us now here on The Morning Show. Seth, good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Even after 2 movies with Ted, fans, they wanted more. Can you first off tell us, why do you think people are so invested in Ted and John's friendship?
I mean, look, we hope they want more. I think it's the simplicity of it. I think it's the relatability of it. I mean, it certainly helps that Ted, as an animated character, has not aged in the past 10 years. He's exactly the same. That's sort of what helps animated shows like Family Guy and American Dad. But I think it's also just the mission statement of the show and of the franchise is really just to make you laugh as many times as we can over the course of the time that we have your eyeballs.
All right, now this is a prequel to the films, and this time around we see Ted and John in high school. Can you tell us about making that pivot and maybe trying to keep the tone of the original films?
Yeah, I mean, it's the tone was, look, Universal and Peacock were very clear from the get-go that they wanted this to feel like the movies. They wanted this to feel like Ted. Do not tone it down, do not soften it, don't make it any less than it was. And, certainly in the age of Apatow and Seth Rogen and these guys who've made these high school movies that are so wildly over the, hilariously offensive, it's, look, that territory is well trodden. So it's really about, well, what can we do that other people haven't done? We do try to, as we did with the original movie, we do try to keep Ted as human as possible. We like to tell stories that really don't depend on him being a bear, that you should almost forget that he's a bear. The world that he lives in has forgotten that he's a talking teddy bear. And we hope the audience, in a way, does too, and just starts to kind of see these as sort of hilarious coming-of-age stories.
Now, Seth, we recently lost the great Norman Lear, and I wanted this morning to talk to you about him because he obviously was so groundbreaking, as are you, somebody who pushed limits and boundaries. And I know you worked in the live version of Good Times, a Norman Lear TV show, of course. Can you talk to us about what Norman Lear, what he meant to you and his influence on you?
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the reasons, if not the primary reason, that I became a writer. I still watch All in the Family on a fairly regular basis. I'll throw one on and just sit there, A, laughing my ass off, and B, in awe of what they were able to do. I mean, it's given the fact that everything prior to that was so, in many ways, milquetoasty and safe, and living in the world of Gilligan's Island, where it was just not bad TV, but just innocuous. And here comes All in the Family that just completely turns all of that on its head, and suddenly you're watching real life. I'm not really sure how he convinced the network to do it, particularly at that point in time, and then went on to do it so artfully. Somebody said in one of the interviews that I read after he passed away that he was always the youngest guy in the room, and it's 100% true. I mean, he was a guy who was 101 years old, and if you said to him, we have found the technology to give you to restore your body and give you another 100 years to make television, he would have said, hell yeah. He could have just kept going, and I wish that somehow he was able to, because we've lost somebody that we all admired, and it's he touched so many people's lives and inspired so many people to do this work, and he's still, for me, the benchmark of comedy. That's still the brass ring when I think about how good can we get?
Absolutely, absolutely. Seth, thank you so much. Appreciate the time, and good to see that Ted is back.
Thanks so much.
All right, Ted is available now, and you can stream it on Stack TV.